And look, she's a mum.
Hello, welcome back to the Fastpass Furious podcast. I'm Margaret, and I'm joined by my fellow co-hosts, Amanda and Sarah.
I'm Sarah, innit?
Oh, look, she's a mum.
Oh, blimey. I never was great shapes at magic, innit?
I never was great. I don't think they would take you to the Forbidden Forest.
Oi, we've seen Pepsi, Scrooge, and unicorns.
But I'd be grateful if you didn't mention this to anyone. Back at Hogwarts.
I back at Hogwarts, innit?
I'm Skylar.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Amanda.
And welcome back to the Fastpass Furious podcast.
First and foremost, we have to apologize for the poor sound quality in our previous episodes, and very likely this episode. We're working on it.
We're working on it. And by working on it, we're doing the exact same thing that we have been doing.
I'm trying to not scream. So
and I'm trying to scream.
Maintenance. So
yeah, I'm getting into the code right as I'm coding us voice to sound better. We did a oopsie. We did a oopsie last time, and we did a oopsie, and now I have to address the oopsie that we did.
Oh yeah.
So last episode we talked about how we were wondering about how Universal was going to handle Halloween Horror Nights and how it was totally going to happen. And that was a oopsie, that is wrong. Universal heard us and they responded and they say, okay, I know how we're going to handle Halloween Horror Nights. We're just not gonna do it. And so they did cancel it. This is disappointing news across the board, especially since Mickey's Halloween is also canceled, but it probably is the best decision overall. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm pretty sad that they canceled it because I was planning on going this year. I had never been, and I really love Halloween. Halloween's my favorite holiday, and I wanted to go. I was all ready to buy my tickets and have my second night free, and then they canceled it.
They literally canceled it the day after we recorded. So even before we released the episode, it was already canceled. But we released it anyway, just because we got to get that good old content out to you. We did have to correct our oopsie. It's not happening, and it's very sad.
Yeah, it is sad. Because I wanted to be scared.
I know, I love
now,
to get scared.
Now my only S emotion is sad.
There's a lot of scary stuff happening. Yeah, but let's not dwell too much on that because we have something pretty neat to talk about today.
Yeah, we do have some neat things to talk about. Skylar, tell us what we're going to be talking about.
Okay, in today's podcast, we will be talking about a huge change that will soon be coming to the Magic Kingdom, as well as Disneyland Park, which will be the changing of Splash Mountain into a Princess and the Frog themed attraction.
Yes, we will.
What is that I hear? It's a Needle alert. So, you guys, Rock and Roller Coaster opened a guest at Disney World's Hollywood Studios yesterday. This is an important date in Disney history, July 30th, 1999. We are happy for your birthday, Rock and Roller Coaster. We love you.
We love you, even though we did say in our first episode that we wanted it to be rethemed into a Vin Diesel attraction.
Hey, I love Fast and Furious. Oh, wait, sorry. I love Rock and Roller Coaster just the way it is. Would it be enhanced with Vin Diesel? Yes. But does it go fast and not stop? Yes. So in my eyes, it is near perfection.
I agree.
I agree.
I think it would be better as a Vin Diesel themed attraction, not Fast and Furious themed.
I
Vin Diesel.
think that most attractions would be better if they were Vin Diesel themed attractions.
Actually, while we're at it, let's retheme every attraction in Hollywood Studios to Vin Diesel.
Maybe, and if Vin Diesel's listening, which I know he is because he is a big fan of Fastpass and Furious, you should actually open up your own theme park, kind
Like
of how
Dollywood. Dollywood, yes.
But Vinny would. I don't know.
Dieselland.
Dieselland. Diesel World.
Dieselland. Vinny World, Dieselland. You know what I was just thinking? Okay, you know how they're making the new Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster in Epcot?
Yes.
I bet money that you're going to hear Vin Diesel's beautiful voice in that ride.
Oh my goodness. It doesn't even sound like Vin Diesel's voice though.
Yeah, but you can still
still
tell.
there.
True fans can tell.
Can you say I am Groot in Portuguese, please?
I can't even. You're just so beautiful.
When did this turn into Beautiful World? When did this turn into I love you?
I'm in love with the interview.
The interviewer.
Okay, this is. We just went on a tangent.
If you don't know what we're talking about, stick around to the very end of this podcast and you will hear a lovely clip from it. But it is it's a hilarious interview that Vin Diesel did with a Brazilian reporter about some movie that he was coming out with. I don't even know what the interview was about because it is just him nonstop complimenting the interviewer, which is fine, but like it was a little too far. He's just like, I love you. Let's go get lunch. Like, come. I can't even look at you. You're just so beautiful. Oh, you guys see this? Yeah.
And
I liked it.
Yeah, the whole time he's like, actually, can we please talk about like the
Anything
movie?
else.
It's just like trying to keep it
anything
on
else.
track. And he's like, absolutely not. You're too beautiful.
You're just
Get out of here.
beautiful. I fantasize at night that I'm the interviewer.
I fantasize that I'm far, far, far away from that room, and I wake up every morning so glad that I am.
You know, I thought you were going to say I wake up every morning in that room.
And it's a nightmare.
How did I get here?
Oh. Okay.
good.
Do you guys want to talk about what we need to talk about?
Splash Mountain! Splash, splash, splash!
Oh.
That's good. That's good. And I do have a little sound bite for you.
Oh.
So, this is what we're saying goodbye to. This is the last time we can be
Ever listen to this
nostalgic
song?
about this song, and then no more, because we're getting something bigger and better. And what are we getting? People down here think I'm crazy. And that's about all we can play of that song. So yeah, we have to stop playing that song now.
But Disney doesn't have to stop playing it, and that's what's important. Because we're probably going to be hearing it a lot at Disney World.
And I'm
in
so
Frontierland.
excited.
Me too. So, for the specifics, last month, June 25th, Disney announced they would be reimagining Splash Mountain into a Princess and the Frog themed attraction.
An overhaul, if you will.
Yes. It'll be the same ride vehicles, as far as I know. Just the characters are going to be replaced and the music, and it's going to be better.
So far, they haven't really given a lot of information on the retheming, but they have said that it's not going to be a retelling of the story. It's going to pick up at the end of the movie, and it's going to be a musical adventure that is going to feature Tiana and Lewis preparing for a Mardi Gras performance.
That's cute because I feel like so many rides are just like, you know, Snow White's Scary Adventure and then Peter Pan. It's just like completely retelling the story.
Yeah, and even Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid, that one too. So this will be nice because then you get some extended universe action, which
Yeah.
I love.
Okay, so I have heard a rumor that the premise of the ride is going to be like Lewis loses his trumpet and you have to like go on an adventure to find it. I don't know if that's what the actual premise is going to be, but I think that's been floating around as a suspected idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's cute.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
I just hope that it isn't like only Lewis, because I like Lewis, but I would really appreciate a lot of Tiana in the ride.
Tiana, Naveen, Mama Odie maybe.
Yeah, I think that would be. I think that
I want Dr. Facilier.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, if we could have like a Shadow Man type zone.
Yeah, with all like the neon lights
And
or
like it gets all dark
black
and
lights.
cold. Yeah. That would be
I want there to be
awesome.
animatronic voodoo dolls.
So here's
Oh.
the question. Is it going to be animatronic or is it going to be like projection based?
I feel like it's going to be like Frozen.
Okay, that's
Like how it's both.
basically animatronic though.
Yeah.
I kind of hope. Okay, how do you guys feel about the animatronics that are like the projected faces, like Frozen and the Seven Dwarfs?
I don't prefer them.
Yeah, I think
agree.
that you have to be at a very specific angle for it to work. And we saw this in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway as well. It really only works from a very specific angle, and then it can look goofy if it is at any other angle. So if they can do it well, then it looks good, but sometimes it doesn't look great. I would prefer regular full animatronic.
Yeah, I think I would also prefer that, but also the animatronics of Ariel and Little Mermaid ride also look a little bit goofy.
Okay, that's because they like their eyes don't blink all the way, and they just kind of look like they have lazy eyes the whole time. I agree, and you can hear them blinking. It's like you can hear the machinery in that ride. That
Also, Ariel's like 3 feet tall. Like I knew she was a Little Mermaid, but that wasn't the scale that I was looking at.
But then, if I'm thinking back to how Disney does their rides now, thinking at Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, where they do animatronic and projection at the same time. That was pretty cool in the sense that like you could have a background scene kind of going and moving.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're going to do anything like that in the new Princess and the Frog one. Because they could really make it look like the Bayou with just props and stuff, so...
Have they announced when the ride would be open?
No, I think that some people have been speculating, like, will it be open for the 50th anniversary? But that's next year, and I don't think that they're going to be able to completely overhaul that ride within that amount of time, especially considering it hasn't even gone down yet.
Yeah.
And I also don't know, with the parks closing, Disney is losing a lot of money at the theme parks right now, and I don't think that they're going to dump a lot of money that they're losing into a ride right now.
They already
So it might be the
canceled.
next few years.
They already canceled half of their Epcot overhaul.
Yeah, that really made me sad because I was really excited for a Mary Poppins attraction.
But they have closed down Splash Mountain. Like, people can't ride it right now, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Yeah, they drained it, but I don't necessarily think that's for this. I mean, I don't know what it's for, but I feel like they would have announced that they were closing it to start.
Yeah, I know that while we were on our program, it was closed for most of the time, and when it opened back up, they were still having issues with it, even after refurb. So maybe it's closed because they're still having technical issues, and I don't know if they're going to repair that and then close it back down, or if they're just going to keep it closed and then reimagine it. But
while they're at it, this is a good opportunity to fix those technical issues.
Mm-hmm. That ride would get stopped all the time.
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely think that, I think that the art style and all the like Bayou scenes, the scenes with Mama Odie, the Dr. Facilier scenes in Princess and the Frog are so beautifully animated, and all like the color palettes, and especially in the Bayou with all the fireflies twinkling. I think that that's such beautiful animation. So I am very excited to see how they're going to translate that into an attraction.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So do we want to talk about the history of Splash Mountain and how that came to be, and kind of the why behind the retheme?
So this new retheming is going to override the current Song of the South theme, and it's going to get rid of all of the characters and songs from the 1948 film. So 1946 film. So the Song of the South has for many years been recognized as pretty problematic, so much so that Disney doesn't even release it anymore in the United States. And it hasn't been released since 1986, which is 3 years before Splash Mountain was even opened, which I think is really surprising, because if you are going to act like you're so against this film that Disney like doesn't talk about it, they don't release it, then why are you going to make a whole attraction based on it?
That is very interesting.
But what I also found interesting was that Song of the South, because I figured Song of the South was like fine for the 40s, but then like later on it started to get backlash. But apparently like after it was released in the 40s, or even before it was released, Disney was already receiving a lot of backlash, because the book that it's based on is apparently very controversial, and people were very angry that Disney would make a film based on this book. And then even after it came out, people were protesting the way that Disney represented Black people in this film. And I think that that's surprising, that even so far back, people were already having a problem with it.
And they still made a ride about it.
Yeah. It's all very interesting.
I think what's like the most interesting about it is that I feel like most people riding Splash Mountain don't even know where it's from.
I didn't.
Yeah.
They just know the song Zip-A-Dee-Don't, and they're like, okay, these characters are vaguely familiar, but I don't know for what reason. And because like growing up, I don't think I realized what Splash Mountain was. It was just a water ride.
It was a water ride. I thought it was Zip-A-Dee-Doo-Dah themed, because I'd never heard of the movie Song of the South, but I had heard Zip-A-Dee-Doo-Dah. And they didn't show, they didn't show any shame for that song, because I felt like Zip-A-Dee-Doo-Dah was played everywhere. I had a ton of sing-along things.
Yeah.
And Zip-A-Dee-Doo-Dah was always like #1 song on there. So I was like, yeah, that's a bop. To write about the song.
Yeah, Zip-A-Dee-Doo-Dah was like a quintessential like Disney song.
Right.
Like it was like on everything Disney based, and like obviously it was represented in the parks, and so people like really loved the song. But like I just think people just didn't realize what it was from until like recently it started picking up steam, when people started talking about it and asking Disney to change it. But like, I think that was the problem, and that's the reason why they released it, like, they made a ride about it anyways, is because they were like, well, we've already, taken this film down. People love Zip-A-Dee-Doo-Dah. Let's just make a ride about that. Which, like, I don't know what Disney was thinking when they did it, but, like, I feel like they were like, people just like fun water rides. We don't have a fun water ride. Let's make a fun water ride and use this quintessential Disney song that everyone like knows and recognizes, and it'll be a good time for the family.
Yeah.
And for a long time it was.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Song of the South?
I've not.
I
Amanda?
feel like I have when I was younger, but I don't remember anything about it.
I couldn't tell you too much about it at all.
Yeah, I have seen it. My grandmother bought an illegal, it's like a bootleg. It's contraband.
Just knocking on your doors and they search for your VHS collection.
My grandma bought this like bootleg version of Song of the South, and I think I watched it like once or twice as a kid, because my grandmother thinks that there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. She thinks that Uncle Remus is a very nice man, and she can't see why anyone would have a problem with it, which I think is a mindset that a lot of people have, even if they know that Splash Mountain is based on Song of the South. They're like, well, I've seen Song of the South, and there's like a few things in it that, like, there's a few scenes in it that are very explicitly racist.
I feel like people sometimes look at racist media and say, well, that's history. That's just the way it was. You can't get mad at history. I think that's a lot of people's argument is like, it actually was like that. And it's like, well, but it wasn't like this.
Yeah. But like people like write it off because they're like, well, this movie was released in 46.
And I've heard the argument is like, how come the movie 12 Years a Slave is okay, but Song of the South isn't okay? Let's talk about kind of the differences there and why one of them is okay versus the other.
Yeah. I have never seen 12 Years a Slave.
I haven't either,
to be honest. But I do know that one of the main criticisms of Song of the South is that it's not really very clear that these people are freed slaves and that they're not currently slaves. And so when you see them like very happy and content in their situation and singing songs and being fine, it's kind of implying that people that were enslaved were just fine with it. And that's not the case.
Right.
And I think that was most of the backlash that was happening in the 40s, was that people were like, hey, you can't do that. You can't just pretend like the slaves were happy. And then Disney was like, oh, but they're not slaves right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, you didn't really say that. You didn't really make that very clear.
Yeah. And it's just making like a caricature of slaves, which like apparently I guess he was not a slave, but how am I supposed to know that?
Yeah. And honestly, I think, okay, so the film does have the main character is a black man, which for 46 was very progressive. So I think that when Disney made this film, Disney was like, oh, look, I'm being so progressive. I have a black man as my main character.
Definitely think that's something they've
But
done.
they really enforce a lot of stereotypes, and also with that whole not making it clear that they're not slaves, and also with the whole tar baby scene, if you guys want to get into that.
I'm not familiar with it, so I personally I won't talk on it because I'm not familiar with it.
I have never seen it.
Okay, well, there's a scene. Okay, so in the ride, they changed this scene. So it's a scene where Briar Fox is trying to capture Briar Rabbit. And so in the ride, they changed it to where he gets like a beehive that's like sticky with honey, and in order to capture him, and that's the scene that you see like right before you drop. But in the movie, he captures him with a tar baby, which is a black baby made of tar. Tar baby is like a derogatory term against black people. And so them creating this tar baby to capture Brighter Rabbit, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So,
but they recognized that it was enough of a problem to change it from the ride.
Yeah,
they were like, let's still include the scene that it happens. So if you have to do the ride, it's going to remind you even more that we changed it.
Yeah, but it's like they noticed that and changed that, but they still were like, you know what? Like, why? Like, I don't understand how they were able to notice that and change it, but they were still like, this is a good idea.
Right. They're like everything about this film in the ride version. Yeah. But yeah.
They are, changing it now. And apparently Disney said that they've been planning to change it for a little bit now, but they really only brought it up after people were like, hey, you should change this. So I don't know how true it is that Disney has actually had this in the works. But
right. Did they just choose to release that information now? Or did they really just think of it right now with the petition and all? So there was a very popular petition going around Facebook. I don't know how petitions work.
I think it was on change.org. And it was
on change.org.
Shared around Facebook. And it was by someone, I think the original petition was by someone named Alex. And it was basically a call to Disney to retheme this attraction. And I was reading the comments on that petition. I didn't write this in the outline, but I was reading the comments on that petition. And people were saying, like, I went to Disney World with my band as a kid. And when we went on this attraction, like, people made fun of me because I was black. And I really want it to be changed because I don't think that people should have that experience. And I think that that's just really heartbreaking and horrible that people can go to Disney World, and which is supposed to be the most magical place on earth, and feel so excluded because this racist film is being represented.
Yeah. That's really sad.
And we can't, erase that history, which I hope Disney's not trying to do with the retheme. I think it's wonderful that they're retheming, but I hope they're not just and also we fixed everything.
And we never did anything wrong.
We didn't do anything wrong because it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
I would say that doesn't sound like something Disney would do, but it kind of does.
Yeah. I just hope they're not like Splash Mountain. Who's she?
Right? I was wondering if you guys had seen that article about Splash Mountain where the guy is like, oh my God, where I'm going to look it up. Briar Fox addresses me by name and says he's going to marry my dad. It's a hilarious article. It's, of course, 100% factual. And there's several times when this man rode Splash Mountain and Briar Fox looked him in the eye and addressed him by name and says, I'm going to marry your dad, Ryan. Call me Mrs. Dad, Ryan. I'm going to be your dad's bride at his wedding. And fun things like that. So I highly encourage everyone to go look up this article. It's a clickhole article, good. So take that with a grain of salt. But it's hilarious. It's called Five Times the Animatronic Fox on Splash Mountain addressed me by name and told me he was going to marry my dad.
And that's just one more reason why this ride should be rethemed.
It's got to go. That pesky fox is going to marry Ryan's dad.
We got to save Ryan.
And apparently his dad.
Right.
Okay, so here's a little story time from my time on the Disney College program. So I think it was one of my first days. It might have been my first day but I don't want this girl to know that I'm talking about her. So it might have been one of my first days or not.
It was like a training day, right?
It was a training day. And we were sitting in a group of like 4 people. And this girl is like, she's very nice. She's very talkative and upbeat. And she's like, so why don't we go around and tell about our favorite movies? And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I really like Tangled. Like, I really like Princess and the Frog. Like, blah, blah, blah. And we just keep going in a circle. And this girl goes, oh, you know what movie is so underrated? And by the topic of this podcast, you probably know where this is going. But she goes, yeah, I just think Song of the South is so underrated. And everyone in the group, like, kind of goes silent. And we're, like, looking at each other like, who's going to tell her? Who's going to say something? And this one girl just goes, yeah, but isn't it racist? And this other girl, the girl that said Song of the South was her favorite movie, was like, oh, I wasn't talking about that. I was just talking about the art. I think the art is like beautiful. I just really like the art in it. And
she probably thinks she's being quirky. She's like, it's an OG, like, classic, but no one even likes it. Like, that's no one's favorite movie.
No one even knows what it is. It's almost like Disney's taking it off of everywhere.
Yeah, that was an experience I had.
Well, at least she had a discussion about it, you know?
Yeah.
It's a good thing she brought it up, and then she got brought down.
I don't want to make her, I don't want to like call her out, but also I think that a lot of people have that mindset where maybe they like were never taught that it was like that this stuff is racist, and maybe they're just like ignorant to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
And I think that can lead us directly into what we're going to do next, which is when Disney released this announcement that they were going to retheme Splash Mountain, there was an outcry of unhappy Disney fans. They love Splash Mountain. They have so much nostalgia for it and think that the ride was fine as is. Okay, that's an opinion you have. But the way they expressed themselves, to say the least, is
just funny.
Funny. Funny is the word that I will use. And we have some comments from these disgruntled fans that we would like to dramatically read for you.
Yes, these comments have been collected from the original Disney news article that was released by Disneyland. So I'm pretty sure that there had been a filter that filtered out like really bad comments, but we still found a few very funny.
This is very depressing news for me. With everything else going on in the world, Disney, can't you just leave this classic ride alone? If you reimagine it, I'm seriously wondering if I will ever bother coming back to the park again, much less getting another annual passport.
Passport. That's what they said.
Oh, so they're not sure. Okay.
Passport?
Yeah. So they're saying they don't know if they'll ever go back to Disney, much less go travel to anywhere ever again.
Yeah. This has pained me so I will stay inside my house.
Yeah, and lucky for them, they should be in quarantine. So
there you go. They should not be using their annual passport. This is so sad to me. Splash Mountain was my favorite ride, and the music and characters were 90% of this. Goodbye, Disney.
Deeply opposed.
Losing Splash Mountain is like losing a heritage. Most people wouldn't miss it if it's gone. would miss it if it's gone. Please don't do this. I pray that's not gonna happen. I can't be more disappointed. Why can't Tiana have her new ride and save Splash Mountain? I'm so sad! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point! The animals live equally in Splash Mountain. There's no status in that world, and of course, no princess. It's an animal's world. I believe Disney will save this greatest ride. Well, I got news for you.
It's an animal's world.
An animal's world.
Oh my God. I like the enthusiasm. But I think the greatest response of all to Disney deciding to make this change was this person who simply said no. Period. And I think that really like it was just so emotional and raw. I really felt what they were feeling. And now I'm thinking maybe Disney shouldn't change this ride.
Oh my now God. That they said no. Oh man, that's getting to me. It's pulling at my heartstrings. No? No? Yeah.
Not yeah. No.
No. Whenever someone does something I don't like, I'm just going to say no, and then it won't happen.
Yeah. When you're in an argument, the best, like over like a Facebook or text, the best thing you can just say is no.
Hey, just say no.
Yeah. Just say no.
Period.
Yeah, no period. If the period's not there, it doesn't have as much emotional impact. But no is all you need.
And if you want a little spice, you can add the little sparkle emoji.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, someone come at me with like something they disagree with me on. We're gonna test this in the water.
Cat in the Hat isn't that bad.
No. So it seems that a lot of Disney fans are pretty upset about this change because they've chosen to focus on the nostalgia over the racism that the ride is based on. Though the racist elements of the film were changed in the ride, Song of the South really doesn't need to be remembered fondly, as these people certainly do. You know, I've seen a lot of similar type comments on other things Disney has done. One that comes to mind is the new Little Mermaid live action movie, which casts Ariel as Halle Bailey. Mm-hmm. People were very upset about that. I have a tweet pulled up here. My children were raised with Ariel. She's an icon in the eyes of many children and adults today. To change her race is absurd. That would be like someone making a movie about Oprah Winfrey and hiring a white girl to play Oprah. Oprah is an icon and we wouldn't want to change her high heel emoji. So you can't just like bring Oprah into the discussion like that.
This isn't about Oprah. Okay.
Oprah's a person.
Oprah's a real life person. And also they spelled Oprah wrong.
Did they say okra?
They said O-P-R-A, no H. Opera.
Oh my God.
Oprah Winfrey. An icon. Another tweet is, Disney has jumped on the bandwagon of turning prominent redheaded, fair-skinned characters into POC. Why not just create a new character? Why is Hollywood trying to wipe out gingers? So I feel like many gingers feel like this is a personal attack.
Even though Ariel isn't even a ginger, she clearly used hair dye. No one's that color.
That color. Also, what other times have there been specifically redheaded characters that were changed into POCs?
I have no idea.
Wait, actually, I do know. Teen Titans made a TV show, and it was like a gritty CW TV show, and their Starfire actress was a POC, and I have not seen the show, so I can't say whether or not she does a good job, but, you know, again, a fictional character, so I think liberties can absolutely be taken.
I have also seen a bunch of like stupid comments about how there's no way a mermaid could be black.
That's scientifically impossible.
Real mermaids aren't black.
It's like, what the heck are you talking about? It's a mermaid. Second of all, Hallie looks like Ariel. Like, if you look at her in the face, like, she has a Disney princess face. I don't know why people are so pissed.
And also, the ginger comment, no one said that Ariel wasn't still going to be a ginger.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure, but she could have red hair.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of fan art with her with red hair, and it looks great.
Yeah.
So a couple other times I have seen this kind of outrage is with Disney's movie Onward, which was so cute. I love that movie, personally. They released their first openly homosexual character, and people were not okay with that either. Well, in a Pixar film, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because we did have LeFou in Beauty and the Beast. And his big gay moment. Which I seem to have missed, even though I've seen the movie a few times. But that's fine.
It was,
they said it was there.
Skylar, it was the look in his eyes.
We all... I'm so confused on what part they were... Because they kept advertising that he's going to have a big gay moment. And I'm like, what part was that? What part?
Danced, I guess.
Yeah,
with a boy.
With a boy.
Oh my god. On accident.
Did you hear about, like, their Disney used to have a teen nightclub. This was at Disneyland in California. They used to have a teen nightclub, and I think it opened in the 80s and was popular throughout the 90s and closed down before the 2000s. But you were forbidden to dance with anyone of the same gender, and two men actually got arrested for dancing together in the 80s at this Disney nightclub. So
okay.
So I'm never going to Disneyland.
They don't have it anymore, but it is.
Anyways, before we go on to your conclusion, Amanda, can I just talk about the openly gay character in Onward?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just a quick second. What kind of... Who did this? First of all, if you're going to make an openly gay character, can you not make her look like a stereotypical lesbian? Because that is so disrespectful. We don't look like that. Anyways, I liked the movie. It's fine.
I did remember, I haven't seen the movie, but I do remember, like, reading people that were like, why does she look like this? Like, the first openly gay character literally is a cyclops. and is built like a stereotypical, like, lesbian. Why would Disney do this? But, like, of course Disney did that.
Like, short hair.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Anyway.
But, I mean, baby steps, I guess.
Baby steps, I guess.
People were also mad about a She-Hulk Disney Plus series. Someone said, just another cash grab at a gender swap on a character. This is awful. No one wants to see an interior Hulk movie loaded with left-wing feminism sprinkled throughout it. And I would like to remind people that She-Hulk is a comic book character that exists. Yeah. It's not a female version of Hulk. She-Hulk is like her own thing, her own character. So there's no gender swap, left-wing feminism going on. I'm getting a lot of this from a Facebook group, and I forget what I was about to say. Oh yeah, I guess this Facebook group just like doesn't like movies with women in it.
Just period. Doesn't like movies.
Or books. Or music.
The dance club that had the people arrested at it that you couldn't dance together was called Videopolis. And they had
That's a horrible name.
Well, I can tell if it's Videopolis or Videopolis.
Doesn't matter.
It closed in 1989, and it opened in 1985. So it was only open for 4 years, but it actually faced several lawsuits, namely because of the dancing together thing.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. And they say it didn't close down because of that, but maybe it did.
But, okay, so people's, like, complaints, they always bring this up, how, like, Disney doesn't really care about this stuff, and they're just doing it for, like, a quick, like, let's cash in on this moment because this is what people care about right now. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Maybe that's true. You know, maybe Disney doesn't care. That's fine. But, you know, that still doesn't give them the, like, freedom to just do things incorrectly. Like if they have the opportunity to change something, even if it does make them more money, which of course it will, like they are a business at the end of the day, they're trying to make more money. Mm-hmm. Like I think if we give them the opportunity to change it and they do it, that's great. I don't really care what their motives are, because like the main issue is just like representation, like misrepresenting things through Splash Mountain, and then better representation through adding Princess and the Frog. And I think that's the important thing. Mm-hmm. Like when Disney makes these decisions to retheme things like this. So when this ride opens, are y'all hoping that they change anything about Frontierland, like as a whole land, to maybe try to fit Princess and the Frog in with it a little bit better?
I don't know if it would make a ton of sense to kind of change Frontierland, but I do hope they add more Princess and the Frog type stuff, at least around the new ride, because like maybe a meet and greet, maybe food. I think that would be an excellent opportunity.
Yeah. I think that it would be really awesome if they, because I know that Tiana, Naveen, and Dr. Facilier are often at Disneyland, but Naveen and Facilier are very seldom at Disney World, and I think that it would be pretty cool if they had a meet and greet over there with all of them. I know that Tiana's already in Fairy Tale Hall, but I think
put someone else in there.
Yeah.
I think Fairy Tale Hall needs a more rotating lineup of ladies.
I always think that it's fun because sometimes they'll have like a mystery princess in there when one of the princesses is busy. And I think that it's always fun to go in there and see who the mystery princess is, though they always are like, it could be a mystery princess or maybe it's not. And it's like, I never get to see the mystery princess. But I still think it's fun, like when you're waiting in line and you're like, who's going to be in here?
Yeah. I'm also wondering if they're going to change stuff with Princess Fairy Tale Hall, because I do think that they will put Tiana out in the vicinity. Maybe it's not a permanent meet and greet, but I think at least during the opening, she'll be there a lot. And they will she won't be able to meet in Princess Fairy Tale Hall while she's out near the ride. But then also Elena, I wonder if they're going to keep her because her show is ending.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, her show is ending. So I wonder if her popularity has, garnered enough that she will stick around for a while, or if she maybe won't. We saw the same thing kind of happen with Moana. She was there around the time of her movie, but then she was kind of fizzled out.
Does Moana still meet?
No. And
anywhere?
I am really bummed about that because I really want to meet Moana, but she doesn't meet anywhere.
She is on the parade float in Disneyland. And she's also in Fantasmic.
I feel like her meet and greet should be brought back there because she is a Disney princess.
Yeah.
I know, right? So, you should be able to meet
all of the Disney
princesses. Well, and here's the thing. I don't know if Elena is a Disney princess.
She's not an official Disney princess.
Yeah.
I think she shouldn't be there.
Well, I like Elena. I don't know if the majority of the people that come into Disneyland know who she is.
Yes.
Or not Disneyland, Disney World.
Or either. You know, she is a character from a Disney Junior show. And we have an area for Disney Junior characters in Hollywood Studios where we had Sophia the First meeting. Now they have Doc McStuffins, Vampirina, people like that.
And Pluto.
And Pluto. He is also meets there for some reason. But while I think it would be strange for her to meet there because she is a base character, it is strange that she's the only Disney Junior character who you will see outside of that area.
But yeah, I think that if they added a meet and greet over by the ride when it opens, I think that would be really awesome. As well as I think it would be even more awesome if they somehow were able to make Tiana's restaurant over there.
Yes, we need a Tiana's place. Or they could put a Tiana's place at Port Orleans.
Yeah, that would be really nice. Okay,
because Port Orleans only has, at least French Quarter, they only have like a buffet style kind of quick service type of restaurant. And they could get like a nice little sit down situation. Yeah. They could make some.
It would be so cute.
It would be cute and good. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to exist. And I'll be happy.
Yeah. I think that because there is the Diamond Horseshoe over there, and it is connected to other buildings, so it's not the ideal location for Tiana's place because her restaurant kind of sits on its own in the movie. But that restaurant is seasonal.
The Diamond Horseshoe?
Yeah.
What restaurant is this?
Diamond Horseshoe is in Frontierland. And I think it is seasonal opening right now, so I don't think that they get much business. Oh my gosh,
yes, I see. I thought you were talking about Port Orleans.
I thought you were talking about Port Orleans as well.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about Magic Kingdom. I'm sorry.
I feel like you might have said Port Orleans.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, change Diamond Horseshoe into Tiana's place because I'm looking it up now, and it looks boring.
Yeah, okay. I think that they do sometimes have a show there while you eat, but
it looks so lame in there. It looks so lame. Oh my gosh, this is the perfect area for Tiana's place. Look, it's got that upper level and that lower level. You can't really sit on the upper level.
Is it by the water?
It is. Well, I believe it is by the water.
I'm going to look at a map now.
Okay.
Because if it's by the water, that would be perfect.
And
I mean, usually you can't see outside of the, restaurants. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, so when you're right at that corner where it's across the street from the water.
Oh, okay.
I guess we'll say. So it's like you have the area where you're coming from Adventureland, and then you can either go straight into Frontierland or right also into Frontierland. You know what I'm talking about? Straight towards Thunder Mountain and Splash Mountain, or right towards Liberty Square.
Okay.
It's right on that corner, on your right.
Okay.
Like if you're coming from Adventureland. Jamboree.
Well, so then it'd be on your left.
It's not really by Splash Mountain then.
It's not really by, but it is in the land.
It is the closest one to Splash Mountain. The thing is that I don't really think of New Orleans as frontier.
It's not.
So
I think that they'll do something to make it work. Because Splash Mountain isn't really frontier either, because it's like the South and not the Wild West. But even if they don't add a Tiana's place, I think that they could at least add some sort of like beignet stand or like a quick service location where you can like get like Tiana's beignets or something like that. I think
and
that would be
gumbo.
Fun.
Speaking of Tiana's beignets.
Oh yeah. I met Tiana with Skylar, and I was super excited. I was meeting Rapunzel and Tiana. So we met Rapunzel first, Fine and dandy. I get over to Tiana. I'm very excited because I love Princess and the Frog and I love Tiana. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to impress her and she's going to love me. And so I get up there and I'm like, so I've had some of your beignets, you know, they're pretty good. And she saw through that so quick. She was like, how did she word it?
Well, I think you had mentioned that you'd been to New Orleans and you had beignets. And she was like, well, what are my beignets called?
And of course, I was like, beignets. What? Do they have a name? I don't know. So I was just awkward and I turned red and I was embarrassed because I had just made a fool of myself in front of Tiana and she's a princess. Yeah. And I just look like a measly peasant who doesn't know her information. But apparently, they're called buttermilk beignets. And first of all, I'm vegan, so I did not have the buttermilk beignets.
Yeah, I just thought it was so funny that she was like, you were like, I've been to New Orleans, I've had your beignets. And she was like, well, what are my beignets called then? And you were like,
was quizzing me.
You were like, beignets? And she was like, wrong. It's buttermilk beignets. Go away, peasant.
Yeah, she said, be gone. But she said her cute little Southern accent.
She said, picture time. That's what they say when they want you to leave.
Oh, but it was fine. It was just, she was very sassy with me. And I know Tiana is like sassier than the other princesses because she's a little bit more modern. She's the most modern out of all of them. And so she can be a little bit sassier, but I was not expecting that. It really threw me for a loop. I couldn't even think straight. I was like, what's a beignet? Tiana, I don't know. But yeah, that was an embarrassing experience for me. Never again.
So I just wanted to mention that I did another oopsie when I told you where Diamond Horseshoe was. That's not where it is.
Oh my God.
Where is it?
Diamond Horseshoe is in Liberty Square, so it can't really be Tiana's place.
I mean, it still can be.
Anywhere can be Tiana's place. Pinocchio's should be Tiana's place.
Okay.
But yeah, it's apparently right on the corner of Liberty Square and Frontierland and is not where I said it was before. That was wrong.
Okay, well, if it's on the corner of Liberty Square and Frontierland, they can just switch the little border to where it's in Frontierland. Anyways, I still say
Frontierland's very spacious. I feel like there's room for them to like put at least like a stand.
Uh-huh.
I feel like a stand, yeah. Tiana's cart.
Yeah.
Tiana's place.
Yeah, they also have a lot of room back, like when you're exiting Splash Mountain, where like the gift shop is. There's a lot of room back there.
Yeah, there's that whole back little corner area.
Yeah, they could probably put something there. I mean, I don't know if they would want people to like go where the ride is exiting if they weren't going on the ride, but I'm sure that they could put something there or redo that area or something.
Okay, but hear me out. I'm looking at the map right now. I'm glad we're all looking at the map.
And now I gotta repull up the map.
Like in that section, what is that? Hold on, what is that that's right there? Oh, okay, that's the takeoff spot for Tom Sawyer Island. Okay, well, like maybe not right there, but in that right there on the water beside the takeoff for Tom Sawyer Island, I feel like they could put something right there. I can't imagine how much room there actually is back there, but for some reason I'm remembering there being an abundance of room. I feel like they could put a little restaurant that kind of juts out into the water a little bit. And it would be just like her place. It could just be like a scaled down version of her restaurant. And it could be like,
you see where that boardwalk is that goes across the water right there next to the takeoff spot for the boats?
Yes.
If you kind of closed that in so it wasn't really a boardwalk and then you made like an outdoor seating area there, like That would be the perfect spot for it. Everyone, get out your maps at home. We're looking at between number 27 and between number 31 on the Magic
DM us
map.
on our Instagram at Fastpass Furious to let us know where you would put Tiana's place.
Tiana's restaurant. Yeah, where would you put a meat?
Literally right there beside the Golden Oak Outpost, like right there between Adventureland and Splash Mountain, in that grassy spot. There's plenty of room there.
Well, I think it's a hill.
As if they don't have machinery that can get rid of a hill. Come on.
Okay. Well, it wouldn't be on the water, but it would still be very nice.
Yeah, and then it would be, like what we were saying before would be right beside Splash Mountain too. But I just think if they just have something like that, that would be nice.
I just want beignets.
Yeah, I just want beignets. Honestly, it doesn't even have to be like themed.
Honestly, I'm just hungry.
Just put beignets in Frontierland. Yeah, I just haven't eaten today.
It is dinner time.
I will say, when Disney opens up a Tiana's place in Frontierland, which they will do, they will be doing it. I hope that they make the menu how they made Woody's Lunchbox, where everything can be made like allergy friendly. You could just point to anything on there and they can make it however you need it for your diet.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the future though, isn't it? Like most of their newest restaurants are kind of like that. It's going to take a while to overhaul all of Magic Kingdom. The food in Magic Kingdom, gosh, it just needs to be overhauled.
It does.
Fight Me, Pinocchio needs to go.
Wow.
Double Fight Me, but Cosmic Rays needs to go. I'm sorry.
People are actually going to fight you on that one. I don't think people will fight about Pinocchios, but Cosmic Rays.
Pinocchio's has pizza. Anyways, we're on a tangent. This has nothing to do with the episode,
but it's important.
Boing.
Yeah, let me get us the F out of here. So, thank you so much for listening, guys. We really love all of you. I know there's about 30 of you, maybe. But we're trying to get to 1,000. That's our next goal. We're going from 30 to 1,000. So
30 to 40.
Yeah. Just 31, actually. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to keep in touch with us, you can follow us on Instagram at Fastpass and Furious. You can DM us, like all of our pictures because they are of the highest quality. Participate in the things that we put on our story because they're fun. And also, we love you.
We love you so much.
We hope you have a great weekend.
I love you so much. I'm going to cry.
I am going to cry. Currently am crying. And so I just hope you have a good weekend. And I'm going to miss you until next week.
Oi, cool, blimey. We didn't talk about Universal very much now, didn't we, in it? But next week, you'll catch us talking about more Universal things. And unicorns.
Only unicorns.
We're only going to talk about unicorns.
But we've been grateful if you didn't mention this to anyone.
We've been grateful if you did mention this to all your friends and family, isn't it?
And with that being said, there's one more thing that we need to say, and I think we all know what that one thing is. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
The
bigger
the family, the stronger the family.
Are we ever going to say that in time? I don't think so.
Nope, because it's funnier when we don't.
It's funnier when that was another thing my mom said. My mom said, you guys got to get one person to say that. I said, no, it's funny when we don't say it together. And she said, no, it's not. And Pam is comedy, so.
Our mothers actually don't like this podcast at all.
Not supporters.
Sarah's mom said she likes it when we don't talk.
She said I prefer the pauses. Okay, bye.
Bye.
I'm in love with the interview.